Neglected by her father and stepmother since childhood, Esther hires Ethan Walden as her personal bodyguard only to fall in love with him and begin pursuing his affection. But Ethan remains distant. Unbeknownst to Esther, he is secretly the heir to the powerful Walden family and harbors feelings for her stepsister instead. Devastated and furious, Esther impulsively marries Charlie Shaw, a man trapped vegetative state. Esther informed her father she'd marry Sean, who was comatose. Her father responded, "You've finally come to your senses," and asked which wedding dress she'd like, offering to buy it for her. However, Esther demanded $20 billion as compensation for marrying Sean, citing her sacrifice of giving up on Ethan, who she claimed only had eyes for Jenna. Her father's anger boiled over, and he insulted her for being greedy. The next day, Esther stood by the door, watching Ethan gaze at and kiss Jenna's photo. Heartbroken, Esther reflected on her feelings, wondering if her loneliness since her mother's death had led her to develop feelings for Ethan. Esther recalled how Ethan had cared for her, pampered her, and saved her from harm, but his heart belonged to someone else. As she overheard him on the phone, she learned that he couldn't love her, that she couldn't compare to Jenna, and that his role as her bodyguard was merely a ruse to be close to Jenna. Heartbroken, Esther stood by the door, whispering to herself, "This is the last time, I'll never love you again." When she invited him to accompany her to a function the next day, he initially declined, citing a day off. However, when she mentioned Jenna would be attending, he quickly accepted. Esther whispered to herself, "Since it's Jenna you love, I'll take you to her side." At the auction, Esther dazzled in a red dress, but her beauty was eclipsed by her pain as she watched Jenna, her stepsister, affectionately hold Ethan's hand and say she'd missed him. Ethan, Esther's bodyguard, blushed with happiness, his eyes shining with adoration for Jenna. As the auction began, Esther bid on several items, but Jenna, fueled by jealousy, bid on everything Esther wanted. Unbeknownst to both women, Ethan secretly bought all the items, using his wealth as the Walden heir to ensure Jenna's triumph. Esther soon realized her bodyguard was behind the bids and stormed out in anger. Esther stopped by the bar to clear her mind, only to find her stepsister Jenna there, with Ethan's gaze fixated on Jenna. Noticing this, Esther got up to dance, but when some guys approached her aggressively, Ethan intervened. However, when the lights flickered and went out, Ethan swiftly shielded Jenna instead of Esther, leaving Esther hurt. At the hospital, Jenna blamed herself, but Ethan reassured her he'd make the same choice again, prioritizing her safety. Esther, wounded and exhausted, ordered them to leave her alone. The next day, upon returning home, Esther confronted Ethan, her voice laced with hurt. "You failed to protect me. Shouldn't I punish you?" She whispered to herself, "You're only by my side because of Jenna." Ethan's response was bold, "I'll accept any punishment without objection." With tears in her eyes, Esther raised her cane to punish Ethan, but Jenna rushed in, standing between them and begging Esther to punish her instead, claiming it was her fault Esther got hurt. Ethan pushed Jenna away, insisting she shouldn't be involved, but Jenna pretended to faint, and Ethan carried her away, leaving Esther heartbroken. The next day, Esther visited a bridal shop to try on her wedding dress. On her way back, she was kidnapped by thugs who bound and brutally beat her. Esther, blindfolded and helpless, begged to know who was behind the attack. A menacing voice replied, "You mess with the wrong person," as the beating continued, leaving her battered and bleeding. As Esther lay battered, she overheard her kidnappers mention boss over the phone, and she recognized Ethan's voice. She whispered to herself, "So, you did this to me." The next day, Esther was hospitalized, but no one visited her. Instead, she saw Ethan caring for Jenna, who wasn't hurt. Esther watched from the door, feeling heartbroken. When her father called, he asked her to attend Jenna's birthday party. At the party, everyone fawned over Jenna, ignoring Esther. Jenna feigned concern, rushing to hug Esther, but Esther saw through the act. Later, when Esther stepped out for fresh air, Jenna followed, mocking her with fake concern. "Poor thing, your mom lost to my mom back then," Jenna taunted, claiming their father liked Esther more. Esther's anger boiled over, and she ordered Jenna to leave her alone. As Jenna saw Ethan approaching, she dramatically fell to the ground, pretending Esther had slapped her. Ethan rushed to her side, lifting her up and asking if she was okay. Esther's father and stepmother arrived, accusing Esther of being evil and wicked, despite her protests of innocence. Esther stood firm, then pushed past them, saying "Get out of my way," and walked out boldly. Her bodyguard followed, catching up to her and grasping her hand. Esther asked bitterly, "Are you here to revenge or slap me because of Jenna?" She whispered to herself, "I didn't know he was the one who sent thugs after me." Ethan questioned, "You have everything, why bully Jenna?" Esther, in tears, replied, "I didn't steal anything from her. She stole my peace, my father's love, her mom bullied mine until she died." Ethan countered, "But I've heard she's the one suffering, not you." Esther pushed him away, saying believe whatever you want, and turned to leave. The next day, Ethan visited a tattoo parlor and asked them to tattoo Jenna's name on his chest. Esther, standing by the door, watched with tears filling her eyes. The following day, Ethan was severely injured while climbing a mountain to get a rose for Jenna, but Esther remained unaware, believing his excuse about being in an accident. At the bar, Esther overheard Jenna telling friends she was just using her bodyguard and wouldn't love him. Esther whispered to herself, observing the irony of Jenna's words, unaware that Ethan had nearly died for his unrequited love for Jenna. The next day, Esther's father called, urging her to finalize the marriage arrangements with the comatose Shaw family, mentioning he'd already transferred the $20 billion she requested. Esther decided to start anew, vowing to forget her unrequited love for Ethan. As she packed, Ethan appeared, inquiring about her plans. She revealed she was leaving for a new place, declining his offer to help. Ethan asked for her new address, citing her safety as his top priority. Esther nodded, bid him farewell, but Ethan didn't quite catch her goodbye. As she drove to the airport, she discarded her phone and SIM card, determined to begin a new life, free from pain and suffering.